all of us have regrets in life, and it's very normal to have regrets. But there's something that a lot of us do that would be the reason that we will have a lot of regrets. What is it? Well, think of a regret you have. Something you did in the past that you didn't, something you did at the present moment of the past. I mean, the thing that you regret now, when you did it in the moment, you did not know that you would regret it, did you? You didn't know that. So later, whatever reason was, you regretted it. Maybe you did not like the outcome of something you did. Maybe you said something to someone that you later regretted. Whatever it is, right? You didn't know that you would regret it. What does that show you? That shows you that you did things in the past. Yes, that you did things in the past that you didn't know that you would regret later. What does that show you? That shows you that you will be doing those things, not exactly those things, but that's possible as well. That you will be doing this, that you will be doing things in the present moment that you won't know that you will regret in the future. But here's the thing. If you pay attention, you actually will realize a lot of the things that you're doing right now, you will regret later in the future. And here's another thing. A lot of things you already probably know you would regret, but you're still doing them because maybe just because you're lazy. You don't want to really change. It takes effort to change, right? And you to change, you kind of have to go through pain, and you don't want to go through that. There can be different reasons. So what you do is you pay attention to what you do every day, what you're doing in your life, wherever you are, a stage in your life. We have different stages we go through in our lives. Whatever stage you are in your life at, right? You pay attention to every single thing you do. What is this gonna do? So something you're doing, pick a few things that you do every day, or things you have been doing in the past months. You keep on doing these things for, let's say, a year or two, right? What will be the result? And do it with everything, by the way. I just said, pick a few things, but you have to do this with everything, because you don't know what you will regret. Now, I'm not saying this to say this, that you should be scared, that you should be thinking this way, oh, that I don't want to have any regrets and stuff like that. It's normal to have regrets. It's part of life. Nothing wrong with that. But we can reduce a lot of regrets. That we can choose to not do certain things right now that later we will regret. And a lot of things, if you're honest with yourself, you probably know that you would regret things. And this is the things, some things you might know, it's just that you don't take them seriously. You don't, or some things you might know, but you don't fully realize. So that's why you have to pay attention to what you're doing, so you realize every single thing that you're doing. Because think of this, right? You have regrets. How does that feel? Having regrets. Think of some regret you have. How does that feel? Doesn't feel good, does it? Do you want to have that again? Probably not. And again, you will have regrets. I'm not saying you won't have regrets. It's part of life. But a lot of regrets, a lot of things you can stop doing right now, which you would regret later. And a lot of things you did in the past that you regret, you are probably doing right now. And you might say, well, I'm not doing that. Well, if you're not, then look at yourself and what you have been doing. Have you been repeating the mistakes that you have made over and over again? What are you doing? So these things that when you keep on repeating certain things that you do and again, so if you're doing that, of course you're going to be doing things that we don't even pay attention to what we're doing. And of course you would be doing things that you would regret later. A lot of things you already know you would regret later, but you just don't pay attention to them. You don't fully realize that, okay, I should stop this. And the reason, there are a lot of reasons. So one of the big reasons is because we are so stimulated these days. We don't want to really pay attention to what we are doing. What I mean by that is that we don't want to be present, do we? We want to, if you have time to just, you have time by yourself, maybe you're waiting in a line, right? Whatever. You will, what will you do? You will use your phone. You won't even want to be present. So you're not even present. You're always either in your head or you're using your phone. You're with people, but you're not really with them, right? So you're not present basically. So when you're not even doing that, when you're not even present, how are you going to be paying attention to what you're doing? You're not going to be doing that, obviously. So you pay attention to what you do, every single thing, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. Every single thing you do, write it on a paper if you have to. If I keep on doing this thing or everything that I have to do for the next 10 years, 5 years, a year, what will be the result? And if that is something that you don't want, change that. And of course, it might not be as simple as just, okay, I know this now that I should stop doing this. So that does not necessarily mean that you will immediately just stop. Of course, it will take effort, but you know that now, that you will have that you're doing something that you will not like the outcome of. So I don't want to like frame it in this sense, the regrets, because it kind of makes it seem like that, oh, I don't want to have regrets, I don't want to have regrets. It's part of life, it's okay. But a lot of mistakes that you're going to be making, a lot of things that you're going to be doing, you will have consequences of those which you won't like. So pay attention to what you do every day, what you do, where this will take you. If you eat garbage, there will be some consequence of that. Yes, you might not, take it seriously now, but there might be some serious consequence to that later, and then you might be like, maybe I should have just stopped that. And you can just think of that right now, deeply, by the way, not just thinking about it for a second or two or a minute, right? Deeply, right? I'm doing this thing. What will be the result of this if I keep on doing this, right? So yeah, with this example that, if you eat garbage, eat junk food and stuff like that, this is not good. You're like mentally, you're not even present. I mean present and like different things because of that, but like mentally you're not, like, you're getting so much dopamine because of these things, right? These junk food that you eat, right? And you just want to eat them all the time, even when you're not hungry. Is that the kind of person you want to be, really? And you chase after cheap pleasure, right? You chase after, like, it's normal to have dopamine, and you're like want to do something that would feel good, but it's the way we are doing this these days. It's like, it's artificial, like it's not real, right? It's like, yeah, it's just not real, and it's not natural, basically. So that's one of the reasons that people are so less motivated. They don't have drive. They don't want to do anything. And again, you see what I mean? You don't have drive, so you would not even want to change, even though there is something that I'm doing that I should probably stop doing, but you still keep on doing that because you're lazy and you don't have drive and different things, and you're not motivated. But if you pay attention to what you're doing, and now that you realize this, okay, these are the few things that I'm doing that I would probably regret the outcome of later, of these things that I'm doing, so I should probably stop. Now if you don't stop, that means you chose that, because you now know, you paid attention, right? So you now know that this is something that I paid attention to, but I didn't change it. I knew that I should have stopped doing this thing, but I did not do that. That means you chose that. So what I mean by that, whatever the consequence of that will be, means that you chose that consequence because you didn't do anything about it. So I hope that makes sense. A lot of mistakes, a lot of, again, I like the way, obviously, a friend is regrets, but it kind of makes it seem like, oh, we don't want to have regrets. It's part of life, right? As much, yes, we don't like it and blah blah blah, it's part of life. I cannot say you will not never have any regrets. It's part of life, nothing wrong with that. But a lot of things you're doing right now, you, like I said, you probably know that you would regret later. And again, I don't want to frame it as like things you know that you will have consequences of, but you're still gonna do it. Pay attention, realize it more, that probably should stop doing that. Think about it more deeply, right? So yeah, I hope a lot of I hope the people that watch this are able to use this to their advantage. Listen, you do know, like I said, think of some regret you have. How does that feel? Not very good. Something, yeah, that probably shouldn't have done that. You will feel that way in the future about certain things you're doing right now. And again, not everything, it's not everything is in your control, but a lot of things are. If you pay attention, you will realize things that you are doing that you will later have consequences of, serious consequences of. It's very possible. So pay attention. And it's very, very naive to not look into the future, because where are you going? Future, right? So if you don't look at what you're doing, and you're going to keep on doing that, so that means you and these things that you're doing, both of these things, you get what I mean, right? These things are going to go into the future. And if you don't even think of what's going to happen in the future, and okay, I'm doing this, so this is gonna keep on doing this, and this is what's going to happen going to the future, means that you're going to keep on doing this. So from now's perspective, is going into the future that you're doing these things. What will be the result of this? So I hope the video is useful, and I can just give the best example here. Maybe you're not spending time with the people that you care about. Think about that. You will not have these people again. If someone you care about, maybe someone, maybe they're old, right? You will not have them later. And later you will probably think this way, I should have spent more time with them. I should have laughed more with them. I should have, instead of using my phone all the time, maybe I should just have, I wish I was just present with, just some, like, could be some old person in your family or whatever, right? Your parents, it could be, it can be different people. So you would regret that later. So why don't you be with them right now? So pay attention to what you're doing, and pay attention to what you're doing is very important. So yeah, I hope somebody's able to take advantage of this, because we don't pay attention to what we do, like, and if we don't doing that, what are we doing? So yeah, that's it.